We were hearing from Klaus Knot, a governing council member at the ECB, of course, and he was talking to a Dutch paper just this morning, saying that there's a risk that China exports deflation to Europe. If it can't export quite so much product to the United States, some of that will come to Europe. Is that how you would expect the European inflation narrative to progress during 2025?
Yes, definitely. I think there's upside risk to inflation and there are downside risks. The downside comes from the fact that, as you say, the two biggest economies, Germany, France, haven't had the most brilliant year in terms of economic performance. And the upside risks come from the potential impact of Trump tariffs if there's retaliation. But you hit on a good point in terms of China. If China's export market to the US is hit, it may have excess supply that it may have to dump in other markets, which countries around the globe will probably be watching.
Yeah, indeed. And so we'll see. I suppose a lot might depend on the order in which these policy initiatives come from the White House as to what kind of impact they have next year, and also how other countries respond, because the part of Klaus Knot talking this morning about fears around a trade war, well, part of that will depend on what the US imposes, but it might also depend on how other countries around the world respond.
Yes, definitely. And I hate to say that next year is very uncertain, because I feel like ever since I've been an economist, the world has been unbelievably uncertain. But next year, we don't know the specifics of the Trump policies that are coming in. We've heard rumours, speculation, whether it be a 10% universal tariff, 25% on Mexico, 25% on Canada. But we don't know the details of that, and we don't know how other countries will respond. We're not sure whether Trump is using the threat of tariffs as a negotiation tool to win some concessions, or he will follow through on some of those things. And unfortunately, we will only have greater clarity once that pen is put on the paper.